Headline King, best media rapper alive. That's right. Yeah, I got something for you. That heat. I got that heat for you. That heat. Yeah. It's a new year, but have no fear. Rob is still kicking. Brand new headlines all up in your ear. Word to Craig Mack. Sit back and relax and defer your opinions like old Tiny's tax. I dodge her attacks. You can't cancel me. I collect a service fee on the block like TMZ with my New York Post. So much power in these streets, they calling me ghost. So let's have a toast to the Headline King. You know my ride and my queen used to be Alexis. Then we got that Panamera so the world can catch us. They just bless us. No shade room, no Aaron Rodgers shrooms or big perk buffoons. Just Rob on the Zoom, calling out the coon. So please stay tuned. BSO will never fold. My chips are all lit and I'm standing tall because I know all your signs. Jim Harbaugh. Because I know all your signs, Jim Harbaugh. It's Headlines with Robert Littal. Happy New Year. If I haven't told you Happy New Year yet, already January the 9th. We're going live today because I was told in the streets that I'll be able to see some of my social media comments now on the live, and I actually see one right now from TTG Closer who says, "What the hell is this?" Well, yeah, there you go. That sounds about right. So you can show them, yeah. What the hell is this, TJ Closer? Well, TG. This is Headlines with Robert Littal. Let me ask you something. Do you remember when President Barack Obama became president? Do you remember that for him to become president as a black man, he had to be perfect at the college. He had to have the wife, the 2 kids, no controversies, couldn't wear a tan suit, he couldn't do anything, couldn't curse, couldn't smoke, couldn't drink, couldn't do anything. And even then, it's real tough for him to become president of the United States. Had to be perfect, right? Couldn't have any red flags at all. And then you remember after President Obama, we got Trump, with the multiple wives and affairs, the not doing his taxes, the multiple controversies, grabbing people by the P word, under multiple indictments, housing discrimination, whatever you can think of, he had did. And he became president of the United States of America. That's what we're dealing with right now with Pat McAfee and Aaron Rodgers. See, Pat McAfee, and I don't have any beef with Pat specifically, but in our society, sometimes you don't really have to do much if you have the right complexion for protection. If Pat McAfee was anybody else at ESPN, he would have already been fired by now. At least suspended. Because you can't go on television, YouTube, or whatever you want to call it, and say the person that is signing your checks are actively trying to sabotage you and say a name. Now, the reason that I say that that's Trump-like, because Trump will go out there and say, listen, I can shoot a guy on Fifth Avenue, and you idiots, will still vote for me. That's the same thing that Pat McAfee is doing. He's literally saying, look, I can go on TV and say ESPN is trying to sabotage my program. And here's the guy that's trying to sabotage it. And 2 days later, you see me all up at the national championship game. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I dare you to do something. You can only do that if you're white. That is only something that white people can do. Trump can say he can grab P words, and then they go out and they ask a lady. They say, hey, what do you think about Trump grabbing P words, and they say, it's all good. It's better than having a black president. If Stephen A. Smith, probably the most powerful man at ESPN right now, went on First Take, called out his bosses, said they try to sabotage First Take. They won't skip back. They want Shannon to take his place. They want Mad Dog to take his place. He got suspended. He got maybe fired. And you say, Rob, how could that happen? That would never happen. What happened to Jamel Hill? What happened to Michael Smith? What happened to Dan Lebatard? What happened to Bill Simmons? Remember Bill Simmons talked about go down? It's out of here. These are people that were high up on ESPN. ESPN fired a bunch of people to have the money to pay Pat McAfee. And now he's running around like Pac. And he got his tag team partner, Aaron Rodgers, out here just talking crazy. And what you gonna do? What you gonna do about it? Darn him. Listen, if you're in your office today and you guys had a staff meeting and you got up in your staff meeting and said, listen, I think Fred in accounting is trying to sabotage me. And Fred is the boss's son. You think you're going to make it another week? They're Trump. And here's another reason why they Trump. Because they always talk about cancel culture. Cancel. Who the hell has canceled Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers has been a below average quarterback for 3 years. And people still act like he Patrick Mahomes. He sabotaged the Jets. He sabotaged the Packers. As soon as Deontay Adams left, with Aaron Rodgers, the Packers were trash. Aaron Rodgers leaves. All of a sudden, the Packers, with Jordan Love, who's been sitting around for 4 years, with a bunch of young guys, I don't even know that. Do they even have a Pro Bowler? Do they even have one Pro Bowler? Do the Packers have one Pro Bowler? All of a sudden, they're in the playoffs. Nobody's talking about it. I ain't seen it on no hot take show. But I say Aaron Rodgers. I heard nothing about Jordan Love. I heard nothing about how the Packers, once they got rid of Aaron Rodgers, all of a sudden became a functional team. All I heard is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers knew damn well he wasn't coming back from that Achilles. He's 75 years old. But all I heard is Aaron Rodgers might come back. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers goes on television. And if he was anybody else but Aaron Rodgers, you guys would say he was crazy. That he's a nut. That he's a drug addict. This man publicly goes on there and be like, man, I'm taking all type of weird drugs. Can you imagine if Lamar Jackson went on with Cameron every week and started just spouting crazy stuff? Can you imagine that? Imagine if Lamar Jackson, right, went on Cameron's show in Mace every week and was talking about the Illuminati, was talking about, that type of stuff. Talking about the devil and all that stuff. And was talking about how he gets high by himself all the time, drinking with hallucinogens and all type of crazy. Can you imagine what the media would do with that? If there was Jalen Hurts was on the Breakfast Club talking conspiracy theories, saying JFK or RFK was still alive or something, Aaron Rodgers go ahead and talk crazy on ESPN. This is what ESPN gets because ESPN wants a portion of the Barstool sports audience. Now, they don't want to leave out the brothers and the minorities because we are really the ones that keep them in business. But that wasn't good enough for them. It wasn't good enough that the brothers And the sisters made First Take #1 for how many years? It's the brothers and the sisters that are keeping that rating high. You think some MAGA man is watching Stephen A. Smith yell every day? That's the brothers and the sisters. But I get it. They say we got the brothers and the sisters. We bring in Shannon. We got the brothers and the sisters. We want some of that MAGA audience. We want some of that Barstool audience. So what can we do? They had some MAGA guys on there, but see, it didn't work when you tried to mix the MAGA with the brothers and the sisters. Remember they had like Will Kane and other people on there. They got Mad Dog on there. They try to say, well, that's not quite working. So what are we gonna do? Oh, I know what we'll do. We get Pat McAfee. He's Barstool adjacent. He's MAGA adjacent. We get Aaron Rodgers, talk about vaccines and all that stuff. He's MAGA adjacent. He's Barstool adjacent. We want that audience. But they didn't take into consideration what that was going to bring, did they? Now look at it. They look like punks. You getting punked. Pat McAfee bent the knee to Brett Favre. But he's calling you guys punks on national television. Punks. He punking you out. Aaron Rodgers come on there talking all crazy about Jimmy Kimmel. Then he comes back next week and don't even apologize. He punking you. You're getting punked. It's just like Trump punked all the Republicans when he was in office. They didn't like him, but he just punk them. This is what you're going to do. This is what I said you're going to do. And you're not going to do this, and you're going to do this, and no matter what I say, you better follow along. I get your ass out of here. I'm the president. You guys let me in. That's the problem. Once you let him in, now you're getting punked. Yeah, he did the Scarface post. I'm the bad guy. You're Pat McAfee. You a damn punter. You ain't no bad guy. You ain't no thug. You ain't no gangster. You're Pat McAfee. You're a punter. And don't get me wrong, I like the stuff he does with the WWE and stuff. And I respect his hustle. I do. I respect his hustle. I respect that he got ESPN bent over. I do respect that. Independent, his own thing, found his own lane. Made him millions and millions and millions of dollars. Don't get me wrong, I don't disrespect that. I understand that way of thinking. I respect that. I don't respect how he let Aaron Rodgers just run all over him. I didn't respect how he bent the knee to Brett Favre. But I do respect how he got ESPN bent over. I respect that. But you can only do that if you look like Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee walking on the sets in wife beaters where everybody else in suits. I respect that. See, ESPN didn't take that into the consideration. All they were seeing was numbers. Numbers. We need that audience. We need those viral moments. We need it. Now they sitting back, some of the executives, and like, what the hell are we watching? What is this? This is what's on ESPN? They can't take it. Well, what can they do? It's his show. It's licensed out. He has ownership of his show. All they can do is just cut bait. But then all he does is go somewhere else. Get another $100 million. And then maybe what they don't want is Pat to end up on FS1. They would love for Aaron Rodgers to do his conspiracy theories over there. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. To go to FS1, him and Skip Bayless. Get Aaron Rodgers and Skip Bayless arguing all the time. They would love that. Yeah, this man running around like he's Pac. That's what you get. That's what they get. That's what they did. That's what this is what they wanted. You thought Aaron Rodgers was going to come in there and talk about the playoffs? Oh, no. No. We got to talk about aliens and weed. We're not talking about spaceships. We're not going to talk about C.J. Stroud and Joe Flacco. No, 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 no. We're going to talk about Epstein list. This is what you get, ESPN. This is what you get. How long will it last? I don't know. But right now, if it was a fight, Pat McAfee's up 6 rounds to nothing. He's whooping their ass. If it's a fight, he's whooping their ass right now. Their ass getting whooped. Their ass is getting whooped. Curious what happens after the football season. Definitely, I think it rides out to after the football season, after the Super Bowl. Then Pat is not really, he's not as adept at some of the other sports like basketball and baseball and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. Jamies Winston, okay? So by now everybody knows the story. Jamies and the Saints called the play to get Jamal Williams a touchdown. Their coach, Dennis Allen, was a pussy. Went into the press conference, blamed all the players, apologized to their rivals. Can you imagine? I tell you, people can say what they want about like Ryan Day. But I tell you this, if Ryan Day ever apologized to Michigan about something, that would be the day he got fired. I'll tell you that right now. You don't do that. You don't do that. I tell my wife this all the time. And you can tell me if you agree or disagree. If I'm a coach, on my first day that I'm hired, I go to the team and I say, team, I'll tell you 2 things. First thing, no matter what you do, I'm never going to embarrass you in public with the media. Never, ever. Now, with that being said, number 2, whatever happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. And we can speak freely to each other as men. Okay? I feel that's important. You never see Mike Tomlin throwing people under the bus. They ask Mike Tomlin, what do you think about Pickens? Or what do you think about this? It's always tempered. Now, I'm sure Mike Tomlin is whooping their ass behind the scenes, but not in public. You never, ever embarrass. It's like your spouse, right? You can be mad at your spouse, but you don't embarrass your spouse in public. You don't embarrass your spouse in front of family and friends. You just don't do that. No matter how mad you are, that's your partner. You can be as mad as you can be. And your spouse can be like, I just stabbed somebody. And you can be like, well, okay. That's just the way it works. So as a coach, to go out there, throw everybody under the bus and act like a little pussy to a coach that's about to get fired. Who cares what Arthur Smith thinks? That man's unemployment. He's unemployed. Yeah, James is a real one. How you gonna cry like a pussy to a coach that's about to be unemployed? It wasn't even 24 hours. They fired him the same day. And you up here crying, I'm so sorry, Arthur Smith. I'm so sorry. That was not the plan. We're not that type of Yes, you should be that type. If you were more like that type of team, you might be in the playoffs. If it was more Jameis, you'd probably be in the playoffs. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please accept my apology. That's so weak. He's a grown man. You're up here crying to another grown man. What's wrong with you? Every player, every teammate of Jameis came to his defense. The teammates that are on the team, former teammates, anybody that knows him, everybody loves Jameis. Everybody loves Jameis. And that's the important part of that is, that's why you never listen to media. Never ever listen to media about the character of a person. You know why? Because they don't know. We don't know. I don't know Jameis. You don't know Jameis. They know Jameis. So if they're telling you that he's one of the best teammates I've ever had, he's one of the best friends I've ever had, we love him. We love his leadership. He's the best, one of the best people I've ever been around. Former teammates, current teammates, college teammates. Who you gonna listen to? That or some white media guy that says his feelings are hurt. I don't feel good. I don't feel good that you guys scored a touchdown, even though you already scored 41 points. I don't feel good about that, Jameis. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go to my little apartment because I clearly have no wife and kids. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna cry because I don't feel good that you scored a touchdown on the last play of the season against a team where the coach is going to get fired in 8 hours. I don't feel good about that, Jameis. I don't feel good. I don't feel good about that. What type of soft stuff is that? You know, I've been in media for damn near 20 years. I never felt anything. I really don't. I feel nothing. Yeah, Saints players, T. Smitty, Saints players wanted James to start ahead of Carr. Yeah, because Carr's always crying too. If the team supports, the plug, if the team supports Jameis, that's all that matters. I'm so hurt. Like, I don't get, like, media people get upset and mad and things of that nature, right? Like, I've never been angry. I've never felt like any sort of way toward any team or anything, even if you like, and here's the thing, you could disagree with a call, you could disagree with, why, like, I hate shotgun on 4th down. I have a shotgun, but I never saw a 4th down shotgun and then was like, man, I'm so hurt about this. My feelings, I feel bad. There's my stuff. I can't eat because they did a 4th and 1 shotgun. Oh my God. I feel so terrible. I don't know why media is so sensitive. I don't feel good. You might see them. You're going to see them twice a year. Yeah, they going to see them twice a year. You going to be in the press box. So if the actual players, don't care, why would you care? You're not lining up at tight end. You're not lining up at tight end. Is it what's up with Shannon always going hard? I like Shannon. I think Shannon has a great platform, and I think that I like his interviews. I obviously does stuff with Ocho, a good friend of mine, and everything. The thing is that just because you like somebody, I don't mean you have to agree with everything they say. Like, I don't like the way Shannon goes at Lamar Jackson. He has his own reasons. I told him that I thought he was wrong about the Jameis situation, because the reason I told him I thought he was wrong about the Jameis situation is not because I think I'm smarter than Shannon Sharp, Hall of Fame tight end. I thought he was wrong because all of Jameis's teammates said he was wrong. So who am I going to listen to? I don't think Shannon knows Jameis like that. His teammates do. Right? Nobody wants to be led by a crying coach. And nobody likes whiny media. Like, what is that? You don't feel good? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't feel anything. There's nothing to feel. That's an odd behavior. You, sir, need a hooker. Yep. That man needs an escort. And he's in New Orleans, so there's plenty to go around. That's what he needs. Maybe he'll feel better then. Sir, I don't know how much they pay you, but take $200. You know where to go. You've been living there long enough. And let off so you don't feel bad about football games. Something's wrong with that. Something is inherently wrong with that. Yeah, it'd be something wrong with that. What does it say here? I think I missed one. Shannon and Stephen A. know they got to do a little bidding every now and then to keep them checks rolling. It is what it. Stephen A. Definitely on the fence sometimes. It just depends on what the day is. Once again, it's about numbers. Sometimes you got to be contrarian, right? Sometimes if everybody agrees or says the same thing, it doesn't work. Skip Bayless has been making money off that for 30 years since I've been a teenager. You find something that everybody likes and you just take the opposite, right? Or you find something that people generally like and you become the head of the hater. You become the number. It's not okay just to be the LeBron hater. You got to be the number one LeBron hater. And then, Nick Wright and all them learned from that. But see, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, though, is Skip sticks to it no matter what. Meaning LeBron can win 30 championships. He's always going to be a LeBron hater. These new age guys like Nick and Kendrick Perkins, they flip-flop. And I don't know if it works or don't work. I'm not exactly sure because it's a work in progress. But think of all of a sudden, Nick Wright and Kendrick Perkins were the biggest Nikola Jokic haters of all time, right? They hated Jokic. Jokic is the weakest MVP. He only gets the MVP because he's white, blah, 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 and all of this stuff. I mean, they were up there. They was about as high as Jokic haters that you can get, right? And then Jokic just cooked the entire NBA in the playoffs. I mean, cooked. He cooked them boys. Now, all of a sudden, every time Kendrick Perkins on, you would think that him and Nikola Jokic were riding horses in Serbia. Nick Wright come on and says Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. So these new age guys, they flip-flop. They just find somebody else. That's why I remember I told Joel Embiid. I mean, I didn't tell him directly, but I did reach out to him. I said, Joel Embiid. I said, hey, Embiid. I said, I know you want to win the MVP. I'm pretty sure he never read this. You want to win the MVP, but let me tell you, if you win the MVP and you don't win the championship, they're going to turn on you. And all these people that are like, Joel Embiid should win the MVP. Joel Embiid should win the MVP. To use it against Joker, as soon as Joker won, they turned on Embiid. So it'd be nice if James had, chances like Baker Mayfield. Yeah, Baker Mayfield is an average to above average quarterback. And he's literally, what is he? Looks like on his 15 now. He's going to get you to 9-8. I believe if Jamies Winston was the quarterback of the Saints, I'm not saying they would have went 12-5, but they would have been better at 7-10. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Shannon became LeBron #1 fan on Undisputed when in the past he was a Jordan fan. So that's just the way it works. Rob, you got to get your opinion on Cat Williams versions and hit him up. Let me tell you something about truth. Okay. As entertainers, and that's what we are, even media, the way we tell stories, you can't just tell a story. Okay, you have to be creative in your story. And this is not something that Cat Williams hasn't said in the past. But my problem with Cat Williams is not necessarily what he said. And just like almost any talk show or any interview that you see, half of it is true, half of it is some embellishment, and there's probably some lies in there too. It was entertaining, and that's what's the most important thing. The thing that bothers me, and it's always bothered me, even though I can understand it because I wouldn't be right here where I am right now if people didn't think this way. But for you to get 25 million views, it has to be buffoonery, okay? And that's kind of frustrating to me because as Black people, it seems like the buffoonery is only what gets us known in the media, right? Do a real serious interview, a real good interview, a real back and forth, and nobody watches it. But the buffoonery gets you 30 million views, right? The drama gets you 35 million views. So what Cat did, and it probably understood this, that he had to add a little hot sauce to some of these stories to get the buffoonery up, to get the engagement up. Then you got everybody else is trying to get into it. And the reason why I say it's frustrating to me, because as someone who's done media for a long time, I say 70% of the money I've made is because of buffoonery. So I can't be hypocritical about it, because I have a very nice car, a very nice house because of it. But it's still frustrating to me that even now in 2024, we have to create buffoonery. We have to create drama within each other. One of the issues with the Black community, right? And I use Trump again as an example. One of the issues in the Black community is we're not united. And we're not even united in the sense that even if we're wrong, we're not going to let nobody else, mess with us, right? You see that with Trump and white people. They know that Trump or whoever is wrong. But to them, they rather have a bad Trump than a good Black person in office. And that goes for the judges, the lawyers, the housing, the schools, or whatever, right? You see that with a lot of different cultures. The Asian cultures. You see it within the gay community. You see how they go after Dave Chappelle every single time because they're united. We aren't united. We tear each other down far too often. We tear each other. So it's frustrating to me to see these successful brothers like Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey and Cat Williams and tear each other down when they all should be building up. They got all this money. They got all this fame. They got all of this fortune. They got all this influence. But they build people. When I hear about Steve Harvey trying to backstab Bernie Mac, like that hurts me to my heart. That hurts me to my heart. That hurts me to my heart. My heart will always be hurt about being backstabbed by my own people. That hurts you to your heart. You expect the other people to come at you. You expect your oppressor to try to take you down. You don't expect the person that's been with you for 5 years, that's been with you for 10 years, that's been with you for 20 years. You don't expect that person stab you right in the back. And we do that far too often as a people. Far, far too often as a people. We see somebody get on. We put our men and women in jail. It's why we can't fight again. We're not a collective unit. And they've done a great job, the oppressor, of making us feel that way. Feel like we have to fight each other. Make us feel like we are the problem. They've brainwashed us into believing these things. We've been brainwashed into believing that we are the problem. So we fight each other about the most mundane and stupid things. You never see white people talk about various shades of white. They're just white, right? It's not dark skin white, light skin white, medium white. They're just white. But black people are so against each other. We've separated our own shades. That's a dark skin. That's a light skin. That's a mixed skin. We separated our own community by shade. Like we some damn ice cream. You see what I'm saying? Italians are just Italians. Asians are just Asians. Jewish people, they're just Jewish. Nah, he's too light skinned. Nah, she too dark skinned. Nah, he don't talk right. No, he talks too proper. Have you ever been to Texas? Have you ever been to Texas? Any part of Texas? Have you go to Texas? Listen to Jerry Jones. You go to Texas, some white people have accents too. But nobody ever says that person isn't smart or that person is too nerdy because he has a Texas accent. Only black people do that. Oh, he talks too well. He doesn't talk well enough. It's a black people thing. It's a sad thing. So to answer the question about the Cat Williams, it was entertaining. I was entertained, but it's a bigger problem that we have here. It's a bigger problem, and it's a trickle-down effect. Until we as a people can be like, look, nobody's going to mess with us, all of us. We're all in this together because we're the backbone of the country. All the culture, all the flavor, all the new innovative stuff, all the dances, all the TikToks, all the stuff, all the phrases, everything comes from us. If we left the country in a spaceship tomorrow and went to the moon, and all the black people went and left and went on the moon, this country would fall apart in about 15 days. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You know, everybody wants to be black, but nobody wants to be black. All right, before I get out of here, I guess I got to congratulate the Michigan Wolverines on their national championship. Damn cheaters. On a serious note, Jim Harbaugh should leave. It won't get any better than this. You beat Ohio. Well, you personally didn't beat Ohio State, but whatever. Michigan beat Ohio State 3 times in a row. You won a national championship. All of your good players are leaving. The playoffs are expanding to 12 games. If it was ever a time to go to the NFL, this is the time for Jim Harbaugh. I don't even think Jim Harbaugh is that good of a coach. I'll be honest with you. I really don't. I think he's good at hiring some assistants. Mr. The offensive coordinator who said he got a white wife. Wanted to make sure everybody knew that. He's a good coordinator. Very strange answer to a question. That's a whole nother thing right there. Like, there's no need to do that. Nobody does that except black people. Absolutely nobody. Nobody, no other race gets asked a question, and the first thing that they say is, my wife is white. My kids are mixed. That's just the weirdest thing to me. So, sir, what do you think about, coaches potentially discriminating against black quarterbacks based on their race? Well, I got a white wife, so I really don't have an answer to that. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't get that. I'm gonna get that. I don't get that. Yeah. Yeah, I think Alabama will be good this next year, though. So will Ohio State, and so will, the regular people. I'm glad it's going to 12 teams. Just for our entertainment, to be honest with you. It's not even so much as, first off, what happened to Florida State was a travesty. That's some white person thinking right there. What happened to Florida State was a travesty. Imagine anything in the world, right? And at the end, and it was imagine you were in any type of competition, right? And in the end of the competition, you won everything. You won all the preliminaries. You won everything. And then at the end of the competition, they're like, we don't like you. So we're going to give some other people a shot, even though they lost. That's the craziest thing of all time. Like Herb Williams said, you play to win the games, except in college football. Except in college football. Yeah, I got a white wife. It's like saying, that's just very strange. You know how people tell you, like, when you're happy about like the type of car you got, and you're just talking with your boys and whatever. You're like, hey man, I got the G-Wagon. Hey man, I got that BMW. Hey man, I got that Lexus. Hey man, I got that Ferrari. And then somebody comes and say, hey man, I got that white wife. She's 5'11". She got a BBL horsepower. She got BBL horsepower. Oh man, that is crazy. Don't do that. There's nothing wrong with whoever you want to date or whatever, but just don't ever say that in life. Just don't say it. Just don't say it. Don't say it. Most people just say, my wife, my kids. And you don't have to use the qualifier, black man, as that is unnecessary. This is Robert Littal. You see all the stuff up there where you can follow the Twitter and the YouTube and all of that good stuff. We'll be back. What's today? Monday? Is it Monday? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We'll be back at some point this week with more headlines. I'm sure somebody else will say something crazy that we'll talk about. I'm out.